You are listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. Hello and welcome to Radio Nonsense, the official Comedy Club for Kids podcast for all ages from 2 and everything in between. I'm Tiernan, and this week I haven't been able to do my jacket up. That's embarrassing, isn't it? I can't do my jacket up. Being able to do up your jacket is something that children at nursery learn how to do. Or for some of you listeners, you might not call it nursery, you might call it kindergarten, which translated into English means child garden. That's confusing, isn't it? Because children go to nursery or kindergarten, but also sometimes you get plants from a nursery. Hang on, are all these 2 and 3-year-olds doing all the work to make people's gardens nice? I wouldn't trust a toddler to do a garden, would you? They just get very muddy, try to eat some worms, and then probably poo themselves. It's like here in the UK, the first year of school is called reception, but also when you go to a school it says check in at reception when you arrive. That's so confusing. Why are they letting 4-year-olds work in the office? What is going on? And why do you then have to go to school to learn things and get a job? But if you didn't learn anything and you just stayed in reception for ages or the child garden, then you'd already have a very good job. It's all very silly. Sorry, what was I talking about again? Linda, what was I meant to be talking about, Linda? Ugh, useless. Where is Linda? Who is Linda? I've forgotten what I was going to say now, so let me just do a quick check in the mailbag for any new messages from you lot out there. You know, them listeners what you are. Right. Now, I've had these 3 messages sent in by one of you on the Spotify Q&A. Hang on. Was it the Snotify Q&A or the Spotify Q&A? Let me just pick it up. No, it's Spotify. It's covered in spots and not snot, so I think it is okay. So, here we go. The first message just said, "Hi, Zip89678. Hi? Is that my name? Are you saying that I'm a zipper? Is that my zip name? Well, I don't even know what a zip name is. I just thought that was when you said a name really quickly and it kind of zips past like, Tiernan. I didn't think my zip name was Zip89678. Am I part of a zip club? Okay, right. Let me see message number 2. Maybe this will clear it up. Message number 2 says, "I'm happy for you that you're still on holiday." Well, thank you very much. I'm not on holiday. I'm here at Comedy Club for Kids HQ. Or is this what you think I do on holiday? Do you think I come to Comedy Club for Kids HQ for a holiday? What do I do the rest of the time? I don't work in a garden centre or a reception desk because I'm too old for that, so... Okay, let me see message number 3. Maybe this will clear it up. "I'm Zip999699653. I'm lagging behind the sofa." What? What does this mean? Is the sofa ahead of you in a race and you're losing? How are you racing a sofa? Oh, no, wait, hang on. Some sofas have got little wheels underneath them, haven't they? So you can kind of push them around if you need to. Maybe it's one of those sofas and it's on a hill and the sofa's going down faster because it's really heavy. That would make sense. What? Zip999699653. Is that your name? Is that your first name and your surname? I'm afraid I don't speak Zipper, and this is all really very strange. Hold on one galubbin minute. I was talking about my jacket that I can't get on, and I was about to tell you it's because the zip is broken. So, when I've been trying to do it up, I have to try again and again and again and again and again and again and again to make the zip work, and it makes this noise. So has this listener got this show confused and doesn't think it's Radio Nonsense, the official show of Comedy Club for Kids, but instead that it's Radio Zip Sense, the official show of the Comedy Club for Zips? No, I won't have it. I won't have it because I've listened to Radio Zip Sense before and it's rubbish. It's all stories on how to do the zip on a really big tent when you go camping, and it's got like 2 zip bits and you have to sort of zip them to the same place. It's very confusing. Or how to do all the zips on lots of zippy up pockets on one of those jackets that dads wear when they go outside in case they accidentally go fishing or have to fight a bear. It's so boring. And no, I will not do a zip-based podcast, not even one about taking part in a race against a sofa, which I don't think actually has anything to do with zips, unless it zips past you on the way down the hill. Anyway, look, sorry, everyone. I didn't mean to get so angry and confused. Maybe I should just calm down, and perhaps I've got all these messages very wrong. I'm delighted to get any messages from you as long as you enjoy listening to the show. And if you are a listener and you want to send in any message at all, and of course, especially any questions that you need to have answered, then you can do that by getting your blundering Henrys, I mean grown-ups, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. Or you can, as Zip 999699653 did, message via the Spotify Q&A for each episode. And if your grown-ups would like to help support this show, they can sign you up to the Linda Edition on Apple Podcasts, Patreon or Acast Plus for just $2.99. I think it's $2.99 in almost every country. So it's like $2.99 in pounds or dollars or, I don't know, green peas or shoes. And it means that you get an advert-free episode one day earlier than everyone else. And it means I might be able to buy a new jacket. Do also check out our live shows at comedyclubforkids.co.uk and our t-shirts and book at comedyclubforkids.store. Oh, and the very big news this week is that this show, Radio Nonsense, was nominated for Best Children's Podcast at the Independent Podcast Awards a few weeks ago. Now, I'm very sad to say that this show did not win. I was very chuffed that it was nominated, but it did not win. However, the show that did win is the other podcast I do that I co-host with Athena Kuplenu, Bust or Trust, a Kids Mystery Podcast. So if you haven't checked that out, please do, as it's now won an award and everything. Yeah. What was that? A zip noise? I'm not even wearing my jacket because I'm indoors and I won't feel the benefit, whatever that means. Oh, another one. Right, well, I'm going to investigate. And while I do, you listen to this most importantest bit.
Today I'm going to go on the cheapest and maybe most dangerous zip line on earth.
I am very excited that with me on the show today is Kristina Grosspietsch, aka Kristina, who once blew raspberries at a hyena, aka Grissels, champion juggler of whistles, and as all our Greek-speaking listeners know you, Afti inikiri apumu eclipse tifissa monica. But of course, Kristina, you are most well known for your incredible efforts to save the tiger by putting lots of them in your bank account, for your world record-breaking collection of things that have fallen off other things, and of course, most famously, for being the first person to bring peace to the entire world for 5 whole minutes when you projected emojis onto the moon. Kristina, thank you so much for being on the show. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I just got back from the moon, actually. So I'm a little tired.
Yeah, I bet. I didn't realize you actually went up. I thought you used a device on Earth, but you travel up there and you do it.
Oh, it's much faster.
Right.
It's just much faster to go straight there. I know they talk about the speed of light, how light could get there faster than me, but I didn't buy it. So I thought I'd just get up there, project my emojis right from the source,
I agree. I've heard about the speed of light, but still, as whenever I've seen it, human beings have to turn lights on or off. So light isn't that quick, or Absolutely. It would do it itself.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sitting there turning the lights. It's not beating me. I'm the one telling the light to go on and off. So
yeah,
I might be faster than the speed of light. I don't know. Just a hypothesis.
I would wager that you definitely are. I would reckon so. Just based on that, really. I wondered how are you getting to the moon then? Is you sort of standard method of a rocket there, rocket back, or are you?
Rocket there, rocket back. A little interesting. My rocket was built by this team of tigers. You did mention that I was saving the tigers, and part of that was I'm trying to get them back into the workforce. More employment for tigers. So I hired this team of tigers to build a rocket, and they really do good work. Great engineers.
Wow. I had no idea tigers did engineering. Is that because their paws are quite sort of, well, this is my awful. I've just sort of assumed this about them. I've stereotyped about tigers. They've got quite big paws. They haven't got opposable thumbs. I thought maybe not great at engineering, but obviously I'm very wrong.
They've really adapted. They got these, the huge claws. They can turn screws with their big nails, and everybody. Once they put their minds to it, they really could find a way, whether it was with their mouths, their tails. You got to give everybody a chance.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sorry for ever doubting them, really. I feel quite awful about it. I mean, because they sell cereal, don't they? And then what else do? They hide in the jungle. That's all I really knew about tigers. Yeah.
They sell cereal. They represent multiple, sport teams. That's hard work.
Yes.
They're out there getting the crowd going. They do hide in the jungle. And they have little spots on their ears that look like second pairs of eyes. So they're
what?
If you look at a tiger leaning down into the water, their ears have a white spot and a gray spot, and it would look like they're looking out at you while their real eyes are in the water. It's protection. Tigers are always protecting themselves. They've got all these, you just never know what to expect with a tiger. Case in point, amazing civil and rocket engineers.
I had no idea about the eye thing. That is incredibly cool.
That is something you should Google, Tiernan.
I do you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it definitely. And I'm also, is that, should we be doing that? Should we be painting eyes onto our ears for sort of protection or to distract enemies?
Absolutely. On the back of our heads, on our hands. If we're asleep, we could, if we want to be asleep, we want to take a nap, but we don't want others to know, just put that on your hand. I mean, there's a lot of, I think, space for innovation in the camouflage industry.
Yeah, yes. Do you know what there is? And I don't know. I mean, I can see right now. And I assume you can see me. I don't believe you're camouflaging. You might be, and I haven't. Maybe. I would assume where you use camouflage, you do it very well. I've not. I was going to say I don't really do it much. I don't really think about camouflaging very often, and I'm wondering if that's something that's missing from my life.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, say you've got, a grandparent visit that you don't want to really, you don't really want to be there for that. You just need to be the same color as your wall. And nobody's going to try and give you a hug and a kiss that you didn't want. You don't.
That's so sensible.
It really is.
That's so sensible.
Yeah.
There's so many situations you could just avoid by blending in with your surroundings. And I never think about that, actually. Yeah, avoiding grandparents, avoiding lots of meetings, really. I think I just sort of I think I'd probably stay the color of the wall most times.
Oh, I mean, certainly, if you'd like, if that's your preferred method of interacting with the world, just being a fly on the wall almost, but just a human painted the wall color.
Yeah, which is then a problem. You might get a fly landing on you, thinking you're a wall.
Oh yeah, see, we found a problem. We're going to need to get some engineers on this.
Tiger-based engineers.
Yeah, we're going to need the tigers. We'll need a fly swatting device for all of us humans who prefer to blend in with the walls to protect us from flies.
This is a lot of effort.
Yeah.
This might be why I have not done it before, because you have to entirely cover yourself in white paint, and then or whichever color your wall is, maybe something more interesting, and then hide by the wall, and then have the fly sorting device. It doesn't sound easy to me.
Yeah, but that. Yeah, that's the problem. One step forward, two steps backwards. But we're really determined to solving me and my tiger team. We're determined to solving some of life's problems like this. So we'll keep at it.
It is brilliant, and what I like as well is that there's this understanding that we should save the tigers, which I do. I don't disagree with at all. But it sounds very much like they're saving us.
Oh. Yes, the tigers are saving us. I mean, every day I feel like I'm learning from these tigers. Apart from their engineer and camouflage skills, I mean, excellent jugglers.
Right.
excellent jugglers. And that's something that I don't have the hand coordination for. So I'm just amazed when people can, throw pineapples, pears, small squirrels. They just go right for it.
That's very impressive. Do they do that while balancing on anything? I sort of, in my head, I've got them on a unicycle for some reason. Is that accurate?
Unicycles. They're walking on, big ball, like rolling balls, rolling logs, driving cars while juggling. I mean, these tigers are they are gifted, very gifted.
That's incredible. I'd forgotten about the balancing on balls thing, which they're very good about doing, aren't they? That seems to be a real tiger sort of skill. I think they do that in the wild as well as when engineering.
Yes, they definitely do that in the wild, and that's something that you'll see if you have an opportunity to ever go camping and you hear kind of a rustling. It's probably a tiger rolling on a ball through the woods. That's something too, and that's quite a sight. Yeah.
I bet. I can't believe I'm so again grateful that you came on the show, but you've done it just as you've returned from the moon. You must be exhausted.
Oh yeah.
You're dealing with all these. I say dealing with these tigers again. They seem very civil and probably quite nice to deal with. But you're managing them. You're a full-time team manager of tigers.
Absolutely, yes.
So that's a lot going on.
Oh, I know. And the time zone difference between here and the moon. It's more than 24 hours. It's more than 20. You can't even imagine. I'm right now, it's as if it should be maybe morning here in Los Angeles, but I feel like it's morning on the moon. It's crazy.
Right. That is completely crazy. Yeah. And hang on, are you 24 hours in the past or are you 24 hours in the future?
24 hours in the future. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's it like? Have you got any tips? Is there anything we should know about?
Oh, big 24 hours coming up for you guys. Big 24 hours. I can't say. It's it's just the time zone traveler's code. But you do want to definitely, like, a new friend may come back into your life, and that might be a good that might be a really good thing for you and your friends.
Wow. Gosh, that's very mysterious. That's very mysterious. So in the next 24 hours, right? Okay, I gotta keep my eyes peeled, because I do always think, like, when it's New Year's Eve and sometimes, and I'm guessing they probably have this, on television on the moon and in Los Angeles, they often show all the places that have had the New Year's celebrations before you have. So it's like, it's already New Year's in Australia and they'll show all the fireworks. And I always thought that if you traveled around the world at the right time, you could see all of them.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah. You could do that. In my, in the rocket that I have, while we were going up, we weren't traveling on New Year's, but we went up with the sun the whole way around. So we got 24 hours of sunlight. We got to have a party the whole 24 hours, never going to bed, all the way up to the moon.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, see, this is where a lot of listeners to this, I think, will regularly get angry with their bedtimes. But if they were to be on a rocket like that, then they just wouldn't have to go to bed at all.
See, that's the workaround. Yes, you can skip the bedtime if you're on a rocket, because it's never 8 p.m. It's never time for bed.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
Is this how they sell being an astronaut? Because, when they talk about, like, oh, you should become an astronaut because you explore space and there's science, they should be saying, kids, do you never want to go to bed, because then you need to come to NASA and train? Oh,
that's actually in the pamphlets.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And the European Space Agency, NASA here in the U.S., that's in the pamphlets. You never have to go to bed. You get to spin around in the air all day.
Yeah.
Bunch of spinning, and you never get dizzy. And all of your food comes in these fun little snacks. And this one's a little secret, but you're up there. It's a constant game of hide and seek with aliens. Constant.
Right. That's right. So but hang on. So they must know you're there to know, are they searching? Are you finding? What's the How do you know whose turn it is?
Yeah, well, you go up. That's when they hide. So, but you gotta, but you're searching.
Right.
But you're searching.
Right.
But you may get lucky. Some of the astronauts came back and said that they found them. So, they won. They won hide and seek. So that's really that desire to be the absolute best hide and seeker is what brings a lot of the astronauts to the European Space Agency and NASA.
I bet. And then the worry I would have, maybe I'm thinking into this too much, but if they won and they find the aliens, then it's the aliens' turn. But then does everyone on Earth have to hide?
Right now, I think they're just hiding in their space stations and rockets.
Phew, okay.
Yeah. I don't
That's
think
good.
the aliens have figured out that we're on the planet at all. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So it's like it's the astronaut's job. They can take up the hide and seek duty.
Yes.
We don't all have to, because I know that with you being 24 hours ahead, it's just something I'd hope you'd break the code and give us a heads up about if we all had to suddenly hide.
Yes.
No, again, and advise on camouflage probably.
People got to go to school. They got crafts to make.
Yeah.
We can't be hiding all day. We got a lot.
Yeah.
We got little macaroni necklaces on my to-do list today. So I can't hide all day. So that's great of the astronauts to really, when they do find the aliens, then the astronauts will take up the hiding mantle to keep the aliens searching and away from the planet Earth.
Yes. Yeah, it's very complex, and again, I can't say enough how pleased I am that you're on the show, because you've got a lot going on. That there's all these areas of your life where you're very, very busy, and so I'm grateful that you've come on the show. And I do have a question that I think, Kristina, I think you are the person that can answer it. I hope that you're okay with me saying that.
Oh wow, I'm so honored.
Yeah. Well, I think you're the perfect person to answer this question. Before I ask it to you, though, this show has a little bit of admin. Are you okay with me asking you some admin questions?
Absolutely.
Yeah, great. Okay. Well, the first bit is that I'm not sure if you're aware, but this is an audio podcast. So all our listeners tend to listen with their ears. They might listen with their elbows, their knees, their bums. We don't discriminate however they want to do it. So generally ears. And I just wondered then if you had a favourite noise that you could make for us, or at least tell us about.
A favorite noise that I might make. Sure. Here we go. It's kind of like a walrus looking for a hug, a walrus that needs a little comforting is kind of how I describe it.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I loved the noise. I wasn't entirely sure where to place it, and as soon as you said that makes instant sense. Is that, do they need, whenever you see walruses, they're always sort of like just lying in a pile, like just like they've all sort of lolloped everywhere on top of each other.
Oh, they're exhausted.
Right.
Yeah, they've got a lot of work. Like, under the water, they're doing a lot of work down there, cleaning things up, building parks, taking care of their kids, going to work. They're exhausted, so they come up, they take a nap, and everybody needs a little comfort, some support.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes the walrus has to say, "Hey, I need a little TLC. I need a little comfort. Can I have a hug, please?"
It's a good sound. I say that, obviously it's a sad sound. They need a hug, and I don't want to disrespect that. But it is a very good sound. I mean, because I'd have thought being a walrus, it's just exhausting having to brush your teeth. Like that would take so long each tooth. And
yeah, that definitely. Well, that's probably why they're so tired. That on top of all their daily responsibilities that's quite a lot for anybody.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
How did you know you could do such a noise? Was there a moment you realised you were capable of making this incredible walrus sound?
Well, sure. I'm an expedition in the Arctic, looking for tigers. Unfortunately, we did not find any in the Arctic. That was a big lesson learned. And I had a dream. And in this dream, I was a walrus. And I started making this noise. And when I woke up, I guess I had made the noise while I was sleeping because there were all these walruses around me giving me a hug when I woke up.
Oh,
Isn't that
that's
so
nice.
nice? Just
Yeah,
so
yeah.
caring. What a caring animal. So now I
Yeah.
made all these friends. I learned so much about their society. How they, elect temporary leaders by
Right.
making their votes. They vote with their teeth.
Right.
Yep. So, that's how they mark which one they want with a little hole in their with their tooth. So really
Right.
just really complex societies and just the most loving creatures I've met.
That's great. That's great. Are they good engineers or not their thing?
Not rocket engineers. They make great
Sure.
parks. Lots of great playgrounds down there for their kids. Really
Nice.
kind of more fit.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Lots of fun underwater playgrounds and water slides. That's what they're really
Yeah.
good at engineering.
I can imagine a walrus going down a water slide at a terrifying speed.
Oh, they're
I think,
so
like,
fast.
yeah.
They're like luges or bobsleds. They're just woo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I think brilliant fun for them. I would never want to be at a water park when a group of walruses is visiting. I think it would just be a bit much, but yeah, it's worth, great. Listen, thank you, Christy. It's a fantastic noise, and again, another fantastic insight into wildlife I didn't even know about. I was going to ask if they had eyes painted on their ears, but I don't know if walruses have ears, so it's probably an invalid question. The other bit of admin I do have to ask you is this show, as well as being audio, it's also suitable for people of any age you can imagine. I don't know if you're able to imagine an age. Are you able to?
How about 42?
Yeah, absolutely. 42. Absolutely minus 42. Absolutely suitable for that too.
Oh, okay.
Not suitable for 100-year-olds. Long story, won't go into it. But every
Oof.
other age, it's absolutely fine for. 101, absolutely fine. So because it's suitable for everyone, I just want to check if there are any rude words that you won't be saying during the rest of this show.
Rude words that I won't be saying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I certainly will not be saying spotted leaf sprocket.
Oh, wow.
I can't say that one.
Wow.
And I won't be saying square rooted.
Woof. Yeah. You
don't want to get square rooted, and that's a little inappropriate. That's like, that's not what everyone wants to hear.
No, I'm really pleased you're not going to say square rooted on. I mean, the spotted leaf sprocket is one thing, and obviously there'll be a lot of listeners in particularly in certain parts of the world that would hear that and instantly be sick. I know the effect that can have on people, and I do appreciate you not saying that. But square rooted, the idea that anyone would even bring maths or math, as you might say in the States, to this podcast. And square rooting in particular, it's the worst. It's very upsetting.
I mean, if our audiences heard you and I saying square rooted, they would drop to their knees, they would sob, they would crush, they would clutch their hair, they would raise their hands to the sky and say why. But that's why we're not going to say square rooted.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think anyone should say square rooted or square roots. I hope you don't accidentally say any numbers that are the square roots of any other number as well, because that's the sort of thing that would probably get us shut down by the audio authority board. I think that's, I don't know what they call it,
they're very serious about making sure we're not mixing subjects. So we can't bring maths into this. It's just not, and we couldn't bring history into this either. It's just we haven't gotten approval.
No, you're right, and I mean, and also, it's probably worth saying that square root is a mix of a shape and a type of vegetable.
They
so
can't
it's already
handle that at all.
It's awful.
They're not out
really
of the
awful.
box thinkers.
No, they're terrible people, and awful words. And thank you for not saying square rooted. I definitely wouldn't dare say square rooted on the show.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Never again square rooted.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for that. Right, well, listen, Kristina. Okay, this is the big one. This is the big question. This has been sent in by Evie. who is aged 10. I should say, I don't know 10 what. I assume it's years, but it could be minutes, it could be decades, it could be pairs of socks. It could be pineapples. She could be 10 pineapples old.
Yeah.
I don't know how old that is. Approximately, what, sort of about 4 or 5 weeks, maybe.
It's 10 pineapples, Tiernan. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Right,
sure. Yeah, I know, but you see that you're the engineering expert here. I don't normally have to weigh things in pineapples before space flight because I don't I wish I could, but I can't take part in it, so I don't have to weigh everything in that sort of measurements. So I'm not as sure of it as you are. But
oh well, there's always room to learn.
I know. You're right. And hey, if Evie is age 10 pineapples, I will make a point of once I finish googling eyes on tiger's ears, I will go and Google exactly how long each pineapple is in years.
Great.
I've got a lot of learning to do today. I have to say, I was expecting you to be informative and educational, but I wasn't expecting that I would leave this podcast today and have to learn. I have to spend the next 24 hours learning, and then a friend's going to pop up in the middle of it that I wasn't expecting and throw it all off. It's going to be a lot.
Well, that's what happens when you go to the moon. I mean, I know what's going to happen for the next 24 hours. I'm just trying to get you prepped.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you without breaking the code. Mm-hmm. It has to be all these subtle clues. So I've got pineapples, eyes on tiger's ears. Okay, I'm getting there. Walrus information. Oh, it's good. I'm making a note. And then when this friend appears, yeah, good. Right. Well, it's so mysterious, so enigmatic, this chat, and it's very exciting. We'll listen. Evie is age 10. Potentially pineapples, we're not sure. And she says, and my question is this. Why is it that everyone cares so much about every snowflake being unique and different, but nobody realizes that the same is true for potatoes? They are all unique too.
Wow. Evie.
It's deep.
What a philosopher.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This is such a great question. And honestly, the reason is, and you're not going to like this, but it's corruption from the big snowflake industry. The big snowflake industry has been funneling money into the news networks and entertainment networks. And they're really trying to get people invested in snowflakes. But, the potato industry, they know that people will come to potatoes on their own. So that's really different. See, you found potatoes on your own, Evie. So you didn't need to be sold to. So you found the potatoes. So that's its own organic marketing. Organic farming marketing.
Yes, yeah, is that why maybe this is blown my mind. I have to say I wasn't aware of the snowflake industry. Is that why I've got so many questions. Firstly, is that why potatoes are always in disguises? Because you rarely see just a potato in its unique form. It's always sliced, it's fried, it's mashed, it's turned into little waffles. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Is that why we don't get to see them in their purest unique form?
Well, their purest unique form is almost too beautiful to behold.
Yeah.
They need to protect us sometimes by, much like the tiger, camouflaging into different, different things to fit in on a plate a little bit better. So we're not so awed by the beauty of a fundamentally infinitely unique potato that we just faint right there at dinner.
My goodness. Because I saw one once, and I don't know if you've seen this, Kristina. You must have done it on your travels. I saw a potato, and it had a little hat and a little eyes, nose, moustache, tiny little feet, tiny little arms. Yeah. And that was a disguise to stop me seeing how incredible it was.
Yeah, you really have to earn your appreciation of potato beauty,
Right. Yeah.
You've really got to be dedicated enough to look past the disguise, look past the mashed camouflage, and see the wondrous potato underneath.
Mm.
Each spud grows in a different place than the next potatoes on to your right or left. They are all unique butterflies, but potatoes.
But butterflies, but potatoes. Yes, absolutely. Wow. Listen. I've got to ask about this snowflake industry because it's because I didn't realize like snowflakes are manufactured because they just every now and then they fall. And then often they're gone before you really get, again, we hear they're unique and different, but by the time you look at them, they've melted.
Well, that's all part of it. You see, it's a limited time offer. So they're really trying to get to drum up excitement. So everyone rushes to see the snowflakes, make you think that it's only right now. But this is all part of the snowflake scheme. Up there in the clouds, we've got these marketing executives, these people in suits living up there, all trying to just get us in on their snowflake control. I haven't gotten to the bottom of this controversy yet. I'm still digging it up.
Right.
I don't know how they're making money off of it, but I'm sure. I'm positive the corruption runs straight to the top of the clouds.
Yeah. I agree with you. I'm sure. I feel like you've opened my eyes and my potato eyes to this, and my eyes on my ears. There must be, because it is funny how people always want it to snow. Like when it's in the UK, it's always, is it going to snow for Christmas? Is it going to snow in time for Christmas? Is it going to snow in winter? And all the kids always want it to snow. And actually, when it does snow, it's wet, it's cold, no one really has fun. Everyone slips and falls on their bum.
Isn't that suspicious? Yeah. That's suspicious.
Yeah. It's really suspicious.
And why isn't always snowflakes? Why isn't anything else falling from... We got rain, sure, we've got rain, but why isn't anything else? When sand is never falling down, rice never coming down from the sky. It could, it's the right size.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, you're right. It could. You'd need stronger umbrellas, I think. If rice fell, I can imagine that being a bit painful. Are you thinking cooked rice or uncooked rice?
Well, maybe if the rice fell with the rain, it would be cooked by the time it got to the ground.
And then you could just eat it.
Oh, that'd be delicious.
Off the floor. Yeah, that would be really great.
That would be yum-o. I'm in.
That's great. How would you feel about potatoes falling from the sky?
Well, we would need exceptionally strong umbrellas for that scenario. Steel hats. But I'm all for it. Again, I much like Evie, I dedicated years to discovering the wonder of the potato, and I when I came across this beautiful secret that potatoes are unique, I really felt like potatoes were one of the most wondrous, spectacular things on the planet. If we could have more potatoes falling from the sky, then they'd mash when they hit the ground. Again, we've got a whole dinner coming up from, a whole dinner just plopping down from the sky.
That's great. That's great. I suppose we have to find a way because to make potatoes evaporate to go up there in the first place, or is there a clever? Maybe it's something for the tigers to engineer. Maybe it's just something to grow potatoes in clouds.
Vacuum. A potato vacuum.
Yeah.
And maybe this is where we can get an elephant in on this. I feel like that's what the trunk could be. A trunk could have some use here.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start up a new startup from elephant vacuums. See if we can really disrupt the industry.
I hope you can. I feel like this is your calling, actually. Wow, this is very exciting. So I was going to say, do you think you could grow potatoes in clouds? Would that be another way to do it, or do you think that's too tricky?
Well, there's definitely water up there, so I don't see why not. Definitely. If it's all you would need is to find a way to get the seeds to stay in the clouds, not fall. So that's all you would need. Some sort of spider web.
Oh, can you get spiders hired as well? Is this elephant spiders? I feel if you were to break them into 2 different teams, there'd be some good work that comes out of that.
Yeah, if we would hire the spiders to create kind of a cloud web to hold the seeds. And, spiders are, but not a lot of people know this, but spiders are actually excellent singers. Unfortunately, they're too small for us to hear. But if we were able to shrink down, we would hear their excellent singing, arias, opera, very emotional singers. So we would get the spider team on it in the sky, and our cleanup crew, the elephants, they'd be there on the ground, and that would be okay. I think we're coming up with a great business plan here.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I can't wait to see how this plays out, and I look forward to. Again, you'll be in the future, and I know it break the code, but maybe if you give us some warning when potatoes might rain down, just so we're not too injured when it happens.
All right, so I will do my walrus call.
Okay, perfect.
If you hear dancing along the wind, a walrus calling, then you'll know. Potato alert. Get out your steel hat.
Perfect signal. Thank you, Kristina. Thank you for all the hard work you're doing in changing the I suppose the earth, really, but changing the industry, taking on the system, to bring us all potatoes from the sky. And I do hope as well that maybe after listening to this, some of our listeners will say to other people, like, you are beautiful like a potato. I hope that becomes common kind of language, maybe around the world, that we can start saying to people.
Oh, what a compliment!
You remind me of a potato. Yeah.
You remind me of a potato. Your face shines like a potato spud. Yeah.
That's the way forward, and I hope it comes true. Listen, Kristina, thank you. So what an incredible answer. I hope Evie is very pleased with that answer.
Thank you so much, Evie.
I hope she strives to become a potato, like all of us do. And have you got a busy? You're obviously very busy. You've just got back from the moon. Have you got a busy next few days, months, decades, centuries ahead of you? What's going on?
Oh yeah. So for the next few centuries, my kind of big plan is desert renovation. Trying to figure out how, I was putting the emojis on the moon. So I'm trying to put emojis on the desert, but the sand keeps blowing them away. So really trying to figure out how to get these emojis. I think every desert would be a little more cheerful if it had a smiley face, maybe, the little waving ghost, octopus emoji, any of those.
Yeah.
Really give it a little cheerful vibe for the desert.
That's a fantastic idea, and I don't want to assume, and I know you've got to get on with your busy work, but I guess it probably you can't have tigers working on that because desert to them looks like a giant litter tray.
Right.
Probably not the best place. Yeah.
That's tricky. That is really one locale where tigers do not thrive.
Yeah.
Huge, big kitty litter tray. So for that one, we are going to have to bring in wolves.
Right. Great. Well, I think wolves need jobs, and I'm pleased to hear that you're helping to save them too. So fantastic. Thank you. Listen, thank you so much, Kristina. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for answering the questions, and thank you for all the incredible work you're doing out there on the moon and the deserts.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. And thank you, Evie, for really helping me see the beauty of the potato.
Oh, Zippy, look what you've done!
Thanks so much to Kristina Grosspietsch for taking time out of all her moon travels and tiger managing to answer Evie's very important question. Evie, I do hope you enjoyed your answer, and if not, please write any complaints you have onto a potato, and chances are I'll eat it before I even think about reading it, and so I'll never have to see it. I must let you all know as well that Kristina isn't just a moon-travelling tiger-managing expert, but she also writes for the superbly funny Story Pirates podcast, which, if you enjoy this show, you will definitely love. It is brilliant. I enjoy it. It's fantastic. Do check it out wherever you get your podcasts from, unless you get your podcasts from the Evil Podcast Shop, as that place charges a lot of money and they'll poke you in the eye because they're horrible. Don't go to the Evil Podcast Shop. Everywhere else is great. If you have a question that needs answering, or you just want to send in anything, then please get your blundering Henrys, grown-ups, to help you email me at podcast@comedyclubforkids.co.uk, or you can send in a message via the Spotify Q&A. If those same grown-ups would fancy supporting this show, they can sign up to the advert-free Linda edition on Apple Podcasts, Patreon or Acast Plus, and you'll get each week's show a day early too. Oh, and do check out my other podcast, Bust or Trust, as well now. It's an award-winning show. Oh, yeah. What? No, I just wanted a fanfare. I didn't want zips. There were no zips in that plugging bit. That was weird. Oh, no, hang on. What? I've been zipped in. What have I been zipped into? I didn't know there were zips around me. I wasn't in one of those giant tents where you need to, have the two different zips that zip up to the main bit. Comedy Club for Kids HQ doesn't have any zips. It's not a big tent. Why is it now so dark in here? And now it's very, very squished in here too. Hang on, there's a little wallet in here. Let me just unzip it. Ah, a message. It says, "Hello, Tiernan, zip it." How rude. Oh, wait, hang on, there's more. "Zip it is how we zip say hello, even though we already said hello." Well, this is confusing. "We heard your messages to us, and we were so pleased you wanted to do a collaboration show with Comedy Club for Zips." Messages? I didn't send any messages. That was my stupid broken jacket. "We look forward to your thoughts on zips on sandwich bags, belt bags, and zip lines." No, that's so boring. I will not. How do I get out of here to complain? Oh, hang on. Maybe I can unzip my way out. Oh, that's a bit better. There's still so many more to go. Wait, in America, and any of you listening to this that are in America, you've got zip codes, haven't you? Maybe that's what zip 999699653 sent me. Hang on, let me try my zip code. Zips, let me free. I am zip 89678. Wow. Well, I'm free now, and let me just say, there is no way I'm doing a podcast with the Comedy Club for Zips. I hate that show. It's rubbish. In fact, I'm going to finish today's episode, and then I'm going to go outside for a lovely walk. It's raining. I guess I'll just get my jacket then. Let me just try and do it up. It's really tricky. Why can't I... Hang on, there are more zip noises than even the noises I was making. What's going on? Not again! Bye! You have been listening to Comedy Club for Kids Presents. Radio nonsense! Radio nonsense! Radio nonsense! Radio nonsense! Radio nonsense! It's the end.